Hey everybody. So I just wanted to get on real quick, because I was doing a little bit of whining. As I've told you in the past, on Facebook, on a whole lot of groups and stuff like that, and the local Ohio State group, I kind of watch to see when people are, approved for insurance, and then when their pre-op appointment is, and I started noticing that a lot of people who had already, I guess I should rephrase it, who had their insurance approval after me, started getting pre-op appointments. So I did a little bit of whining, saying I was approved on May the 4th, and I still haven't heard anything. So I was gonna, I posted it, and I asked a few other people who had posted that they had had their pre-op appointment. I said, when did you get called? When did, just asking random questions, just being a pain in the ass. I was curious. I thought somebody had forgotten about me. But I was talking to this one lady, and she said, "Oh, don't worry, it'll happen pretty quick." And not even 15 minutes after she said that, they called me. So I gave them a call back, and they were trying to get me in tomorrow for a post-op appointment. They had to go through some administrative hoops. Unfortunately, I didn't make it for tomorrow, but I do have an appointment on May the 22nd for my first meeting with a surgeon. It's Dr. Bradley Needleman out of OSU. I've said this in the past. He brought minimally invasive bariatric surgery to OSU. So he's a teacher. He's taught this. He's been in medicine for almost 40 years. I'm confident with this guy. But I will be seeing him, and then I will be seeing a nutritionist that I saw during my intake appointment. So I'm really familiar with him, and we're gonna go over the liver shrink diet. So it's finally a weight off my mind. I finally got my pre-op appointment, so I'll get my surgery date as well as my anesthesia appointment, which usually happens about a week after. So we're looking at like the second or third week of June. So I'm excited. I can't even describe how excited I am. That this is finally happening. And apparently there's something weird going on with my insurance, because every time I get someone on the phone, they're like, "Oh, this is weird." And they don't really specify what is weird. But so far everything's been fine. My insurance did, not approve some after surgery testing, like the ERG and stuff like that they do after surgery, just because I haven't had the surgery, so there's no reason for them to approve it, which, it's insurance. It doesn't make sense. It's fine. I've dealt with insurance for my entire life. I've been in insurance. My stepdad's an insurance salesman. Stepsisters are in insurance, so I get it. But once I do have the surgery, all of it will be approved, so I'm not too terribly worried. But other than that, I get to go into, I'm taking a few days off of work. You guys know I usually work the weekends. I am taking all of Saturday off, half of my Sunday, which I usually work 20 hours on Sunday, half of my Sunday to take my stepdaughter camping. So that should be fun. My family is getting got some campsites near where I grew up, and we've invited some cousins and my grandmother, and my sisters are going. One is camping all weekend, the other is not, but I get to pick up her son. So I get to take him, and then my stepdaughter's bringing a friend, but she hasn't decided who she's bringing yet. But I'm in the middle of packing for that. I do plan on taking a few Premier with me, but you know what, I'm gonna enjoy some campground food. My sister and I have already decided that, we're gonna be cooking because my mom's cooking isn't 100% the greatest all the time. There's some stuff she makes really, really well, but it doesn't transfer to campground cooking. So, but I get to go into that, just relax, have fun this weekend, and then go into Tuesday and just have that appointment. I will have surgery date in hand, so of course I will let you guys know. But it's all coming together. But I guess I want to parlay this into a support system. I got an idea. Leah, who comments quite often on my videos, which I love, and keep replying. I love it. Makes me feel special. But she actually gave me a really good idea about talking about my support system. And I've got some fun stories. So, my boyfriend, who we've been dating almost a year now, the first couple of days of June is when we first started dating. So, last year. But we are like two peas in a pod. I've never met anybody who doesn't annoy the crap out of me at some point. It's been a year. We've lived together since last September, and he still has yet to annoy me. And we have yet to have a huge major fight. You know how, I mean, it's coming. I know it is. I'm not under any, I don't expect it. Like, I don't, go to pick a fight, but every couple fights. So I'm expecting it at some point for it to happen. But he's been the only human being that I totally trust, which is very, very important. I'm gonna cry talking about him. I love him so much. I've been in some shitty relationships, and let me tell you, being the only one who loves the other person in the relationship never works. If you are the only one making an effort, that's a problem. If you feel like you have to beg for attention, not a relationship you want to be in. If I don't want to say this, but at the same time I do, if you can't want to spend if you can't say you want to spend every waking hour with that person, and I'm not saying, we do everything together. I mean, there are times where, we work weird schedules. He works in spurts, a couple days, but he never has a steady day off. And my days off are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, he's structured his trips around when I'm off, which is helpful, but there are times where, it's Wednesday, I'm still catching up for my 20-hour day on Sunday, and more often than not, I'm in bed until 10:30, 11 in the morning. He's up at like 7, 8 o'clock. He's not one to lay in bed. But, I forget where I was going with this. But if you don't want to spend every waking hour with that person, like, he'll come in roughly around 10:30, 11 when he thinks I might be up. And, we'll lay in bed together because I'm horrible at wanting to get up, especially if I don't have to do anything. There's no point. But I just always want to spend time with him. So that having someone that you always want to spend time with is important. I mean, it's not the end all be all. I started this journey before I met him, and I was absolutely upfront with him when we first started talking. I said, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to change, I'm not going to be the person that, you fall in love with. Well, I'm trying not to cry. But he told me he fell in love with my personality first. And and this sounds bad, but what I look like is secondary. So that's very helpful. My family. My mom and my stepdad are my only two parents who know. I chose not to tell my dad. Mainly because I don't have a great relationship with him. My parents got divorced when I was... Sorry, that's the office phone. My parents got divorced when I was 15. So, and a lot of stuff happened that a 15-year-old shouldn't have to deal with. But it happened. So, I mean, it just... having to take care of making sure my sisters went to school, because my mom was going to college at the same time. My dad blamed me for a lot of things that he did, rather than owning up to it. So I lost kind of that relationship with him. He's not my dad, my stepdad is. And I say that because I know he's not going to watch this. Neither of them will. But my stepdad is always... he's my real dad. I kind of want to cry. But... so my mom and my stepdad know, and both of my sisters... one of my sisters reacted really, really well. She was really, really proud of me. And the other sister did not. She does not agree with my decision, which is fine. That's her opinion. She used to be overweight. She had a couple of miscarriages before she had my nephew. And I understand that's hard, and she packed on the pounds. And she ended up losing it after my nephew was born. But at the same time, she did not have the issues that I have. She does not have PCOS. She doesn't have insulin resistance. She has not been big all her life. She has always been tiny. And when I talk about her weight loss, she lost about 75 pounds, but at the same time, she gained it really fast and she lost it really fast, if that makes any sense. And my brother-in-law is a cross-country runner. He runs in marathons, so he's a big motivation because she started to run in 5Ks and stuff like that, and that helped boost her weight loss. And she also got very into Shakeology. She ended up being a consultant for Shakeology. I don't think she does it anymore, but to me, that's kind of the yo-yo dieting and the waste of money. So I'm happy for her that she lost the weight, but she's been very quiet during this whole thing, which doesn't bother me, but at the same time, I know that she is not on board with this at all. And that's fine. I don't need her approval. I have also had a few other family members, I think fueled by her displeasure, tell me I shouldn't get this surgery and I am going to die on the table. Yeah. That's hurtful, but at the same time, I've made this decision. I am well educated, they are not. I know the risks, I know what's involved, and I know why I am having the surgery. If they would approach me in a mature way with their questions, I would have no problem explaining to them why I was having surgery. I'm very open and very candid about why I'm having surgery. I don't think that people should have a say in what I do. I don't expect people to do what I ask them to. So it's my support system. My boyfriend, his family's wonderful. You know, they were kind of taken aback at first, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, you know, we'll support you, and you do whatever. They've asked me, oh, do you know when your surgery is yet? And that was last week, and I said, no, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. And now I'll be able to tell them eventually here next week. But they have already told me, you know, we're here, we're in town, you know, just let us know and we'll come right over, which is, it's fantastic. My mom is prepared to give up most of her June, which I don't think is going to be necessary, but she is planning on it. My sister will be there as much as she can. My other sister, I just don't know. I don't know. When I do have little milestones like this, I do text both my sisters and my mom. We're kind of in a group text. I tell them what's going on. She never replies. So she's more of the, if I ignore it long enough, it'll go away type mentality. And that just doesn't work. You know, life doesn't work like that. So, she'll get her wish. I will stop talking about the surgery, but then by my birthday, I'm hoping to be at least 50 pounds lighter, if not more. So, I don't know, maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's I don't want things to change, I don't know. And quite honestly, that's not my problem, it's hers. So, a support system is absolutely crucial. It does not need to be your family. At the same time, I would not tell you to do online support only. I'm part of quite a few groups. I use them as an information resource because they know what will happen and what I will be going through. My family can only support me and help me as much as they know how. So, I mean, it is what it is. Make sure you have a physical support system, people that you can physically lean on, because that's what I'm going to be doing. It's just, you need people. And kind of, as an overweight person, I don't think a lot of people are as outgoing as they should be. I shared that I would be getting gastric surgery with a few people at my job, especially my boss, saying, hey, this is gonna happen. I'm taking unpaid leave because I don't qualify for short-term disability yet, which is fine. I've saved up some money for it. And I'm only expecting to be out 3 weeks, and I get paid weekly, so it's not a huge deal. I would rather have surgery and not get paid than to have to worry about having some sort of health issue down the road because of my obesity and being out of work. So I'm doing it that way. There are a couple of people excuse me, at work who've had gastric bypass or sleeve in the office. And I have gone to at least I've gone to one of them because I knew her. She worked in the office behind me, and she was very open about her surgery, which was nice. I got to bounce just some questions and stuff like that I had, but she's, periodically poked her head in and asked me, hey, have you gotten approval yet, and stuff like that. So I get to tell her tomorrow I got my pre-op appointment. But she went through the same program I did, and she knows exactly what's going to happen in the hospital. So she's been a good resource as to what is going to happen in the hospital. Her surgery was a couple years ago, so some things have changed, but a lot of the program has not. So it's funny. I reach out to people and tell them about my journey, thinking I'm gonna get a negative response, but I don't. And you'd be surprised. I was not expecting my sister's reaction to be as blatant as it was. I was thrown, it threw me back. And that's fine. But at the same time, my mom, who I thought was going to be the biggest fight for me in this journey, has been the easiest. Mostly because I am the research daughter. I research the crap out of everything before I do anything. So if I can talk intelligently about surgery, she is more comfortable with it. And that's how it went. She asked me about a few different surgeries, you know, lap band, gastric balloon, stuff like that. And my stepdad did as well. And I explained why it wasn't good for me and why, you know, why I was going with this step versus, you know, something a little less drastic. So my knowledge made her more comfortable. And that goes back to one of my first videos where I said, research, research, research. Look up everything you can. If you can't intelligently talk about this surgery, I don't think you should have it. You need to understand what's happening to you. So, well, hopefully I'm a little happier because I don't have to worry about when surgery is, or now I've got it narrowed down to a 2-week time frame. Them wanting to fit me in tomorrow tells me that they're trying to squeeze me in as quickly as possible for surgery. So I'm not going to be too surprised if they tell me, we need you to start the liver shrink diet today because in 2 weeks you will be in surgery. And that's fine. I've got it set up to where I can do that. If it's not, then I guess we just work on it. The only bad thing is my boyfriend's schedule was due at noon today. So what is it, the 14th? It was due at noon today. They called me at 2. So they were 2 hours late to make that. So we're just hoping that I can kind of finagle the date in order for him to be here. He is very worried that he won't be in town for the surgery, and I've explicitly told him I don't want him to burn his sick days because we'll be going to Disney in November, and I want him to have those days available just in case we can't make it on the days that his daughter, my stepdaughter, plays in the marching band. So we want to be able to see her in the parade and go to Disney, and so yeah, it's gonna be tough if he can't be there. I think it'll be tougher for him than me, but he's more of a worrywart than I am. He's a good guy. He's good. I appreciate him so much, and he appreciates me. So it's something different that I'm not used to. But yeah, it's fallen into place, and it's scary. I won't lie, it's really scary. But anyway, I'm gonna be thin for the first time in my life. That's so weird. It's so weird to me. I'm gonna be thin when we go to Disney. I mean, I'm estimating, what is it? It's May now. So in 6 months, I should be close to Wonderland. I mean, if not in Wonderland. That just, I can't even fathom that. I haven't been that skinny since middle school. What am I gonna look like? I don't know. I mean, obviously thinner. You know, my face will be thinner. I'll be thinner. But I've been like this for, God, 20 years. Over 20 years. This is who I am. Okay. Existential crisis over, I guess. All right. Well, I just wanted to hop on and let you guys know that I got a pre-op appointment. I will let you know how things go afterwards. I'm a little nervous because I feel like the rugs are gonna get pulled out from under me and they're gonna say, no, we can't do the surgery. So as long as I get past that appointment, and my boyfriend's going with me to that appointment. And that's another thing. I haven't made him go to really any appointments, but the major ones he's gone to, when I got my ERD, the scope, he went to that one. We had been dating for literally a month, and that's when he first met my mother. So I went back for the scope, and they talked for an hour and a half, which I guess is good, but at the same time, it was a little nerve-wracking doing that. But he was fine with it, she was fine with it, and she loves him, so, you know, I can't really complain. But this will be the second appointment that I make him go to. I guess I misspeak when I say make him. I'm requesting him to go, mainly because I want him to meet the doctor. I want him to be able to ask his questions. I've answered them as best as possible, but I'm sure he'll have, you know, more in-depth questions, which is fine. You know, he's got to have his fears allayed as well. But I'm pretty much going into this knowing what's gonna happen. I mean, you can't really shock me into, you know, if your liver's too big, you know, we'll do open laparoscopic. If that has to happen, that has to happen. I'm fine with that. So I'm not scared of scars. I'm not scared. I mean, I've had surgery before. I'm not scared of scars. I'm not scared of catheters. I'm not scared of binders. I'm not scared of IVs, which is kind of shocking because I was scared of shots when I was a kid, up until I was a teenager. And now I'm fine with them. It's, you know, it's not torture to draw blood, because you can't see any of the veins in my arms because they're just buried really deep. And it's not just because I'm fat. My forearms aren't that fat, I guess. But it's just, you can't distinguish between muscle and veins. And I know a lot of, you know, nurses will say, oh no, I could find one. My best friend's wife is a nurse, and she will literally just pick up my arm sometimes and go, I can't see anything. She's been a nurse for 20 years. And she's like, where are they? This is so weird. I can't find them. So I always get my blood taken out of my hand, which to me hurts less. There's less skin that they're going through, and I can watch them take it out, and my poor vein on my hand is so scarred up from, you know, getting poked all the time. But that's the only vein that doesn't blow and doesn't roll. So you gotta go with what you can go with. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't mind pain. I've had 2 joint surgeries, so I think bone pain is worse than flesh pain, but, you know, you never know. But I think the worst part for me is just gonna be the laying around and not being able to get up and go like I'm used to. So it's when the boyfriend will be helpful. I don't think I'll get a lot of help from my stepdaughter, but, you know, besides, hey, can you fill my water bottle up? You know, teenagers aren't the best caretakers sometimes. But I just, I'm so ready. And I can't say that enough. I am just so ready for this. Once we do get closer, when I'm in my liver shrink diet, I'm sure I'll do more videos, just because I'll need, on my hand, I'll just need the encouragement, because I am allowed to have unlimited green vegetables. So I've bought so much green vegetables to try, and I know I like peas, I like green beans. I'm a big fan of leeks, as I've said in the past. But that's really all of the green vegetables I could think of. I can do cooked green peppers. I'm not a big fan of green peppers that aren't cooked. So, spring mix. I am going to see if I can sneak tomatoes into that diet too. I just don't know. I gotta research how many carbs are in tomatoes. Probably a lot. But that's okay. I can live without them for two weeks or so. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. But I'll be eating a lot of greens, a little bit of meat. They'll allow me a little bit of meat, so. But the rest is liquid. Popsicles, which I should probably show you my freezer. I have tons of popsicles, so. I'm gonna close this for now, mainly because I gotta get back to my job. But I just wanted to say that I had surgery, and I wanted to touch on a little bit about my support system and, what happens when you don't have people who support you, who, you do love, but at the same time, you've got to go against what they wish. And I know that's hard for a lot of people, but for me, as long as I feel comfortable and I'm fine with my information, then it's their problem and they've got to be okay with it. So it's not my job to make them okay. It's kind of what my mantra is. I can't make you okay with me. I'm me. I can't change me. So, other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns. If you're getting close to surgery, maybe, we can swap information. And so if there's anything you want to hear about my journey specifically, just let me know. But yeah, I guess next time you'll hear from me will be after my appointment. So, yay! Alright guys, thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and I very much appreciate it. But thanks. Bye.